going to do today is we're going to start out on the ground. So we're going to hold on to the leg loops, and we just want to practice coming into a pike on the ground so that when we do it, when we're in the swing, it makes sense on the body. So we're going to hold the leg loops in our hands and just dive in for child's pose. Now in child's pose, sitting on the shins might be uncomfortable, so we can always sit cross-legged. But if you can, stay here and just drop your head. Shake out your hair, relax the neck. Feel like you can really stretch the shoulders back by turning your thumbs up towards your shoulders. And if you turn your thumbs down towards your hips, it's a totally different stretch. So just play with rotating the thumbs and see how that feels. If it feels good, do it. And if it feels too much, just relax. Some variations there. Okay, and then we're going to inhale, lift the chest, bring the arms up overhead. So this is a really great shoulder stretch, right? Have you done these before, Barbara? Oh, okay, great. So we're doing a private training video with Barbara, and so you'll hear me talking to what seemingly is like no one, but I have a headset on, and we're doing a video chat, and then we record it to share with you. So let's go ahead and just gently rock from side to side. Now you'll notice the ribs and the intercostals when we do that start to open up. And it can be really intense. So just do tiny little micro movements if it's too much. It's not about how far you can go from side to side. It's more like how slow can you go and how much can you feel the stretch. That's better, Barbara. There you go. Most people are just like, whee, which is really fun. But slow it down so you can feel every little nook and cranny between the rib cage. That's it. That's it. Beautiful. Okay, and then from here, we're going to inhale. We're going to turn our fingertips towards us, bicep curl up. Now, when you bicep curl up, you're probably going to have to negotiate with your swing. It might be right above your head or bop you, but that's okay. So now we're in a camel pose. And in camel, we want to reach up towards the sky with the crown of the head and then lean back. When we lean back, we're pressing our hips forward the whole time. It might be easier here to, whoops, lost the headset. It might be easier here to shift to a wrist wrap. If you feel like doing a wrist wrap, great. If not, just stay where you are. We're going to do that for 3 breaths. Get my little earpiece situated here. Always technical difficulties. All right. Can you hear me, Barbara? It's okay? Okay. All right. 1 second. I lost the little guy that goes in the ear. There it is. Technical difficulty number 2. Get the little earpiece back on. All right. There we go. That's better. Okay. So if you change to a wrist wrap, then you have a little bit more leverage to pull up as you lean back. Now remember, you're leaning back with the chest and the head. The chest leans up and back. The hips are going to press forward. Now if you straighten your arms and lean back all the way, now that's Supta Virasana. Squeeze the knees together and bring the crown of the head towards the floor. That's a totally different pose, right? So we're going to do a bicep curl. Inhale up to camel. Exhale, go ahead and just pause. Inhale, lift your chest towards the sky. Exhale, lean back. And then go ahead and straighten the arms. Bring your glutes towards your heels and stretch the crown of the head towards the floor for Supta Virasana. Inhale, bicep curl up. Okay, so that's a nice quad exercise too. You can feel if you do a couple of those, you're engaging both the quads and the arms. Okay, and then we're going to inhale, open the arms up. Exhale, go ahead and dive in again. Nice and slow, dive in. Make sure the lower back is happy. Wiggle down. Take a couple breaths here in a version of child. Inhale, go ahead and lift the chest. Exhale, swim the arms wide and overhead. So this swimming of the arms lubricates the hip joints. And that's actually a really good way to warm up the shoulders. And then when we get to front, we're going to Keep the arms straight and press the chest towards the knees. Now that movement there is what's going to help create the arching and opening in the upper back. And as well, make sure the neck is happy. So we don't drop the head. We keep the head in line with the body. So if there's a long line of energy from the tailbone to the crown of the head, right? And then we're going to inhale, bicep curl up. One more time. Bicep curl up. Now this might be as far as you want to go in your camel. Right? And then if you want to go further, try the wrist wrap. Keep pressing the hips forward. Lift your chest up and back. And then once you have taken a breath there, then you can bend the knees more. Drop the glutes towards the heels. Go ahead and arch and bring the crown of the head towards the ground. And then again here, try the tiny little micro movements from side to side. Be really careful and keep squeezing the knees towards one another. Let that feel good. Inhale, bicep curl back up. Okay, exhale down. Okay, so this is where we're going to change up, Barbara. So go ahead and watch for one. I'm going to change the holding on with my hands. I dive in for child. And then what I'm going to do, actually, let's try a wrist wrap here. So what I'm going to do is tuck my toes under, lift my hips, or tuck my chin in, and I'm going to pike and roll over. Okay? Yeah, I know, it's fun. So we're trying the same thing that we do in the air. We're trying it on the ground. And when we try it on the ground, I'm going to come around, and we're going to do it together. We feel safer with the surface there for us to play with. So go ahead and come into a wrist wrap. Come through child's. Tuck your toes under. So when you lift your hips, you're pushing your crown of the head towards the floor, and it looks like rabbit. But then you tuck your chin into your chest. Really important. Do not land on the crown of the head. Wait for me, Barbara. Do not land on the crown of the head. You actually tuck your chin into your chest so you're on the tops of the shoulders, and then you pick your feet up and roll over. Okay, go ahead and do it one more time, Barbara. Let's see. And you need to point your camera down towards the earth because I can't see anything but your hands in the air. So I want to make sure that you're doing this correct. Yeah, and these private video trainings are available online. Takes a little bit of extra technical savviness, but usually we figure it out. So go ahead, Barbara, try that one more time so I can see. Make sure you tuck your chin into your chest. Okay. Roll onto your upper back. Push your hips up towards the sky, and then lift your feet and roll. Perfect. Nice and controlled. Now that's the same exact movement we do in the air. Okay? But when we're in the air, it's a little scary. So let's try it one more time. So we're just going to inhale here, sitting on our shins. Exhale, go ahead and round down for our child's. Now I have a wrist wrap, which gives you a little bit more stability. You tuck your toes under, push your hips up, tuck your head in, so chin into the chest, roll onto your back, lift your feet, and then land sitting in a forward fold. There you go. Does that feel good? Oh, you just wait. We'll use it. Yeah, one more. Now we go the other way, okay? So now it's going to feel a little bit more like what we did in the swing, okay? Yeah. You're like, that was so easy. Okay, so shift your hips forward. So it's always good if your hands need a break. You'll feel your hands, right? If they need a break, you take a moment, stretch them out, right? So always give the hands a break if you hear them talking, because then you'll feel like you don't have enough grip or enough strength to hold you. So it's okay to take a break. So from our wrist wrap, we scooch our hips forward, okay? And then we're going to pull our feet up towards the sky, and then we pull our feet over our head. We come back through our plow pose. So try doing that a couple times. So from straight legs, yes. Now you can feel it's a little bit more similar, right? Pull up and over into plow. And then back again. Nice. So that's similar to what we were doing in the sky, but a little bit easier. And then we actually get to hang out in plow pose too. Right, so come to sit for another breath. How did that feel? Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then when we're in the air, we have to have a lot more engagement than on the ground, but until we get that strength, we get that feeling. So let's go ahead and come up so we can model it, and then we'll come back down one more time. So let's come up into the swing. We're gonna get the leg loops on the knees and hang out in chillaxin. So a little bit of movement back and forth from the floor to the swing today. Okay, good. Beautiful. So after we warm up, we always warm up first. After we warm up the back and learn to open the heart, we make this a heart-centered practice. Very important. We always initiate from the heart and let the pivot point be at the hips. Then we're going to go ahead and shake out our hands again, jazz hands. Reach up for the leg loops as high as we can, straighten our legs, and pull them into high diver. Okay? I can see your knees. You might want to angle the camera up a little bit more, hun, if you don't mind. Or you can always move the camera back so that it can see more of the body. There you go. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, not too much. That's great. Okay, great. So when I hold on to the top of the webbing where it meets the fabric, so not the carabiner, but slide down so you're meeting what I call the nub, the part where the webbing hits the fabric. So we can hold on here and we can lift our hips up and over, right? And so this is like doing the plow pose. Go ahead, try it, Barbara. So lift your hips. Yeah. It's the same movement that we just did on the ground. So go ahead and try it. So not straight up in the air. So don't keep your elbows bent. Straighten your arms and lean back. So the key is to lean back. Yep. It is exactly the same move we just do on the ground. So just try it. Keep your arms straight and lean back. Tuck your chin into your chest. Yeah. So you tuck your chin into your chest and you straight legs up and back. So the same exact move we just did on the floor. It's the same in the air. Go ahead, try it one more time. Straighten your arms. Sure. So I lift my legs, I lean back, and I let my feet roll over my head. You can, until you feel comfortable, you can try jumping. There you go. That's it. That was it. Try it again. Just keep the arms straight, tuck your chin into your chest. That's the part most people, they let their neck kink, and you want to tuck your chin into your chest and roll over like you're in plow. So try before you come all the way over, just try doing the little lifts. And then all of a sudden they'll get bigger and you can roll over. Yeah? So make sure you straighten your arms and lean back. It is a wheel, so it's not straight up in the air. Straight up in the air is much harder. It's up and back. Okay, so let's come back down to the ground and practice it again. And I want you to just go ahead and press the leg loops all the way to the knees, and then come through a sumo squat. So we're going to take the leg loops off. Always stay seated in the transitions. Okay. And then come on out when you're ready. Come on back down to the floor. You're doing great, Barbara. This is how we learn. So we hold on to our leg loops. Come on down. Okay. So just notice the movement. So I'm going to use a wrist wrap. It's a little bit easier to hold on. You can use the hands as well. So I scooch my hips forward, and I lean back, and I let my legs roll over my head. So do that a couple more times. Good. Back, up and over. So this is our little play lab to understand how to do pikes in the air. Can you feel it's the same motion, Barbara? Well, it's the same movement. It's just when you get in the air, people get scared and they effort it. So when on the ground, you're not efforting, right? You're just leaning back and pulling the legs up. So when you come to the ground, just remember to angle the camera down, right? So just, yeah, if you don't mind. So it's okay. Just wanted to make sure I can see you. There you go. So go ahead and just feel the ergonomics of the movement, right? So you have to straighten the arms. If you keep your elbows bent, you can't do it. Try doing it with bent elbows like you're doing it in the air. And it's so hard, right? Try doing it with bent elbows and notice how hard it is, right? So when you're in the air and you keep bending your elbows, then you can't do it, right? So that was what I was saying as I keep the arms straight. You have to lean back, tuck your chin into your chest, and then feel that rolling over. Right? So hips up towards the sky. You have to get your hips up over your head, right? You can't just do this and just stay there and try to pull. If you try to pull your feet towards the sky, it's impossible, right? You have to pull your feet back and over your head. Right? Well, let's try it in the air again. So let's go back and forth a couple times just to play with it. Thank you for moving the camera. For me, it's easier to do in the air than on the ground. Just personally, that's been my experience because the ground is kind of in the way. Where when I'm in the air, I can really lean back and I have some space to do it. So we can slide the leg loops up into the groin, which actually makes it easier. If we do it at the knees, it's a little bit harder. We can still do it. But when they're up high, they're like our training wheels. And so now the camera is like pointing towards the ceiling. You have to bring it down a little bit. So sorry for the changes. You get stuck. There you go. That's great. Thank you, hon. Perfect. Okay. The beauty of technology and the woes of the changes as well. Okay. So remember the first thing we do, and why don't you just watch for this first one, Barbara, okay? The first thing we do is we lean back and lift the legs. So when I lean back and lift the legs, I can lift them towards the sky, but that's only half the movement. The other half is leaning back so much that I can actually bring the hips towards the sky and the feet overhead. And we just play with rolling. It's a roll. And then once you get it in the body, it's really easy. But go ahead and try it a couple times. I'm going to watch you. Let's see what happens. No, the swing's not the issue. Just try straightening the arms. Go ahead and just try leaning back. Yep, swing is not the issue. Yeah. There's tricks in there for sure, but it's really about where your head is and where your arms are, and then you just let your legs just roll over like you